All right, how y'all doing? I got my brother Phil in the house. I'm Arnell. We appreciate you joining us for episode 7 of the Falling Forward podcast. Today's topic is control your controllables. So, Falling Forward was created, based on weekly conversations that Phil and I had as men dealing with topics that are sometimes taboo for us to talk about, such as emotions, or more broadly, surrounding things around fitness, spirituality, marriage, parenthood, and all things business. So, today, again, like I just mentioned, we're going to talk about controlling your controllables. I'll let Phil take the reins and go ahead and just dive into the topic today.
All right, control your controllables. Like my brother Arnell said, man, this is the 7th episode, man. 7 has been looked at as a lucky number, but I wouldn't consider this as being love, it's divine destiny. Uh, Control. That's a big topic. So I would say for me, control is anything within our power to execute. On the flip side of things, on the other end is avoiding anything that is subtracting from your life that's not adding value. So to put it all together, it just all starts with you. It's self-control.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, to me, again, just to add to what you said, what are controls? So, according to the Oxford languages, it's something that's capable of being directed or influenced. So, more specifically, in other words, it's the authority or capability of something that could be regulated or limited. And a lot of times, those controls are things that are innate to us, and some of them are external. So, I think today we're just going to dive into some things that we can control as human beings, and then things we got no control over, and things we shouldn't stress about. So, um, I guess I'll ask today. Let's touch on this. So, I think it's important to mention that control is set in place to keep us on track, and/or limit us from wandering off track. However, I think we should worry more about controlling our input and letting the output manifest itself. So what does that mean? Both of us are praying men, and you always heard our grandmother say, if you're gonna pray, don't worry. If you're gonna worry, don't pray. So control the things that we actually have power to control. You know what I'm saying? And so those things are things such as our environment. We can control the people we hang around. We can control the activities we do. We can control the things that we watch. A lot of times we can't control the output of what we do. We can control the input though. So if you could, Phil, just let's talk about what does control your controllables mean to you?
All right, so for me, for starters, I would say control your emotions. Emotions are very big, you know what I'm saying? Just like my brothers H-Town say, emotions make you cry sometimes, but it also make you fall in love. So you got different ends of the perspective. It's up to you how you want to use uh, those characteristics. So far as emotions, control your emotions because they will influence bad, decision making, which has an impact on your life as well as others that you may or may not be able to undo. So once it's done, you may not be able to take it back, and it's like a domino effect. So I just give you guys an example. So I had a bad experience with a manufacturer that delayed my paid product. I was mad and wondering what's going on, but I decided to reach out to him. After having a conversation with him, he informed me that the products that he received weren't to my standards because he know how thorough I am, and we had a lot of discussions. So he requested for them to be redone, but he didn't let me know. So he had hope that they'll come back in time, but that didn't happen. So I didn't like the delay, but I look at it, from a different perspective. So I respected his knowledge for my standard. This showed me, to stay professional and not demand my money back because I had an attitude. So to wrap that up, I'll just say, respond, not react. There's two sides of the story, the one that we make up and reality.
Mm, Man, heard that. That was a great word right there, brother. Yeah, respond, don't react. So play the whole thing out and be open to different perspectives. That's great, man. So let me ask you another question. Should we worry more about the input or output of a situation from a control standpoint? So should we worry, I guess specifically, should we worry about controlling the input, which is what we have direct influence over, or the output, which in a lot of cases, just in the situation you just mentioned, you don't have access, you don't have control or influence over the output. Which of those should we worry about from your controllable standpoint?
You know, for me, I have always just worried about self. Just make sure that I'm on track and everything else will take itself. So I would say input. Worry about the part that I have to play and let the output just kind of land where it's laying. Cause, you know, whatever we put into it, we may not get the desired outcome, but it'll be like a lesson learned, like hence, you know, our the name of our podcast, Falling Forward. So you don't look at the negativity, you just learn from the results of it. So focus on your input and whatever output that comes with it, you know what I'm saying? Adjust or build upon it.
Great. That's great right there, man. So the last question, man. What are some ways to control your controllables, man? What can you do to put yourself in the best position to, put maximum effort? Again, I think if we're less concerned with the output and more concerned with the input, no matter what the desired output is, we can live with the end state if we do all we can by controlling our input. So, just from your perspective, your purview, your experience, what are some of the ways you can control your controllables?
Hmm. First, I start off with prayer, man. You know, life is hard, decision making is hard, and I say, you know, we are human beings, and the way that we are built, a lot of times we want to react or respond in a certain type of way, but um, we have to have a bigger purpose within us to not allow those things to pull us in. So, prayer. For me, I think things through. I try not to just blast off what comes up to my mind because a lot of times it may be negative, and I think about the impact of what I'm gonna say or do, how it's gonna have on others, and how it'll impact myself. So preparation, you know, um, you definitely can't execute the way that you should without preparation. So you have to prepare yourself. Yeah.
Okay, great, man. Great. So yeah, I'll turn it back over to you. And I don't know if you had any additional points to make or any questions to ask. So
Yeah, I just want to hit on preparation, you know. Preparation is pretty big and you know, I can go in many directions with that. So um I know that we desire to get to the end result, but we despise the process. So just realize that process is very important, you know, to get to the end goal. So for fitness, you know, I want to look a certain type of way, but the discipline that was required was hard. So you know, I felt like I wasn't seeing the results. So mentally, I was slipping back, and I was just like, you know, I can slip up every now and then. This continued to set me back, so I had to realize that I was actually in control, but I had to be disciplined and consistent. Once I focused on those areas, I started seeing results. So, you know, my lesson learned there that you may not be aware of what's going on, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
absolutely.
So, you know, question for you. So, what are your thoughts on someone, you know, being coached or mentored related to the topic?
Um, well, first off, a great question. I think we all need some sort of mentorship, but I would caveat that with finding the right mentor based on your beliefs and your values. So, you can get a recommended mentor from people who have a different belief system. Some people may value money more than, God and principles and morals. So I would say you would have to find somebody that aligns with your value system first and foremost, because no matter how much success he or she's had, you're going to eventually clash heads if you got a different value system. Two, I would make sure that mentor understood what you wanted, man, what your end state was, and had proof of concept. Get somebody that's done what you're looking to do. Get somebody that's been through that adversity, that understands the topic of control your controllables, and that can give you valuable input, man. And three, I won't say the most important thing, but equally as important as the other two, is leave your ego at the door. A lot of times, you get people that have been through some situations and maybe have had some success in the past, and you went to hire a mentor for a reason, but your ego allows you to clash and have adverse thoughts on, hey, well, I know how to do this better. Why is he or she taking me through this process when I already know this? And sometimes what they see in you is a faulty foundation. So if they're starting from the beginning, they got to break you down, build that foundation back up. And a lot of times our egos may clash and say, hey, you know what? He or she's not getting me to where I want to be, because I already know this. While we going backwards, I hired a mentor to step forward. And sometimes you got to take a step back to take two forward, man. So.
Oh man, that's great, man. I just share a little bit of personal experience, man. Just kind of, spinning off what you said about checking your ego at the door. It was a point in my life that I felt like I needed to talk to someone. So I wanted to seek counseling and stuff. And the thing about it, you have to be very transparent, and you have to lay your guard down. You have to be truthful with them, and you got to be willing to receive, accept, and apply the things that they are telling you to do. It's a very vulnerable state, and I know that a lot of us don't want to ask for help, and we don't want to be in that position, but it's very helpful. Like Arnell said, that you got to choose the right person to give you that insight, and you got to trust them. You got to check your ego, and like I said, you got to be transparent. That way, that they can listen to you and hear you out. They can analyze it, and they can give you their feedback on what you should do or things that you can work towards.
And just last minute bullet to add to that, man. You got to ask yourself, and this is in any situation, do you want to be right or do you want to grow? Which is more important to you, being right and making somebody else appear wrong, or do you want to humble yourself and actually grow from that experience, man?
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. How do you feel like how does faith plays into control your controllable?
Well, man, just from a simplistic standpoint, I think if you have faith and you pray, man, that there's certain things that's going to be out of your scope of influence. You know what I'm saying? So we all know there's a saying, our faith without works is dead. I believe it's the same as making a decision and executing on that. So your decision is your faith, because when you make a decision, a lot of times you can't see anything tangible in front of you. You're making that decision based on faith, and then the execution is the works. So you got to have the faith plus the works, man. And I think a lot of times what holds us up, what holds anybody up, is we want to see something. We want God to give us a sign. And if we don't see that sign, we don't have that faith, man. So I think being connected to the Most High and knowing that people, situations, and opportunities are put in our lives, for a reason in the season, I think that's very important to understand, man. And if you don't understand that, sometimes you're not willing to take that leap of faith. Example, I've been with the government and the military capacity and as a civilian, federal civilian, man, for the past 2 decades. I just left my job last Friday, completely on faith, man. I got 4 kids, I got a mortgage, I got bills just like everybody else. But, God put something inside of me and let me know that I'm special, just like each and every one of us, man. We had a special gift and talent, and I had enough faith, and I made a decision to execute and do that work, man. So I just think that faith is everything. That faith and courage, man, and then having discernment. You know, saying you know, asking for discernment, asking for wisdom from God, man, to let you see if this is for you. I think that plays a huge part in it.
Oh man, well put, bro. Ah, so let me see. Can I dig up something personal? I would say, simply put, it means like when you don't trust, you try to control. So,
Mm,
for example, I can kind of jog my memory and talk about a couple of relationships in the past that, uh, let me see how to say it without. So, I was involved with a woman or two in the past that had trust issues, right? So, it wasn't nothing that I was doing wrong. It's just that I guess from previous hurt or whatever, they wanted to control how I live my life because of the fact they didn't, trust me and stuff. Where you at? What you doing? Why you miss my call? What took you so long? Text back. When you going somewhere, they want to bother you and stuff like that. So, you know, at first it was creating an issue, and it was having me looking at myself, and I'm like, dang, like what am I doing? But it wasn't that I was doing something. It was the fact that they didn't, trust me. So they was trying to control, the things I was doing. They were trying to compartmentalize me and put me in this box to protect their own feelings and stuff. So,
mm,
that was like short lived and stuff. But I just want to share that with everyone. I'm sure a lot of people are going through it, and those are the things that you need to talk to your person about to kind of like, smooth things out, or maybe they need to talk to someone. It's something within them. They may have experienced something with somebody else, and you shouldn't be punished for something that somebody did, that predates you.
mm. Nah, that was strong right there, man. You said when you don't trust, you try to control. And you can go back to a spiritual sense in this too, man. Like a lot of times we try to control our own destiny. We try to hold the wheel and we wonder why we keep going in different directions, man, and not having a desired end state when God got the wheel, man. And when you don't trust in what God's blessed you with, man, we go down paths, getting in relationships, business ventures, man, we shouldn't be in and wonder why they don't work, bro. So a lot of times we got to get in the car, we got to plot out our destination and stuff, man. But a lot of times we don't trust. So, we do try to control that wheel when we actually got no control, man. So that was real good, bro.
Right, right. I just got one more thing to kind of hit on real quick. As far as control your controllables, you also got to control your energy, man. You can't put energy in, going to different places and involving yourself, engaging with different people and stuff. Everybody don't mean you well, and all the different environments, have an influence that impact, your mindset and the things that you do. So I'll just say for me, my energy, uh, going out a lot, being in the clubs and stuff like that, I realized that, okay, well, I have outgrown this, and I don't need to be around there listening to all this music about talking about our women killing and, making money and all of that type of stuff like that. So, I had to shift my energy to listen to stuff more positive and stuff, like our brother ET, he always motivating us, try to help get us to the next level. So protect your energy. Don't just give your energy to anybody or any place. You have a decision. You don't have to always engage. So do what's best for you on a positive perspective.
Mm, protect your energy, man. Couldn't have said it better. Also, man, when you protecting it, you got to watch who you let drain it. You got to watch who you let drain your battery.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Because as ET mentioned, you need a battery, man. You don't just need a mind to get to the next level. You can't outthink everything. You gotta have a certain level of energy. You gotta have a certain battery, man. And if you're constantly not limiting your access, what we talked about last week, and not controlling your energy and people who you're around, man, you're gonna let people drain you. And then it's gonna be that much harder, bro. So we talked about a couple things that we hit on, man. There's preparation, protecting your energy, controlling your focus. I know I mentioned, shoot, making a decision, man. So I think another important key to controlling your controllables, man, is making a decision before the execution. You know what I mean? Like, make a decision that this is what you're gonna do, and you do that through faith. So you make a decision and then you execute. You know, a lot of times we try to execute without really making a sound decision that this is what we're going to do, and we wonder why we always fall short. Another thing that we kind of touched on briefly was establishing a value system, man, and that value system is going to dictate your level of input, and then the output is just going to manifest itself. So the last thing I think is important is to understand your limitations and your strengths as a person, and know which controls are advantageous to your desired outcome versus the ones that aren't. Meaning, if you know that you're a person that allows anybody, you're a free-hearted person, so you allow anybody to have access to you, that's something you need to start being mindful of. And you need to start, as you mentioned before, see if those people are adding and subtracting, man. So those are kind of just some of the things that we touched on to just give to the audience, man, and make you more mindful of them. And we're not saying anything that hadn't been said or that you don't already know. But sometimes when you hear it packaged in a different, delivery, sometimes those things hit a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So you got any closing thoughts, man, for
Yeah,
anybody
man.
listening, man?
I just want to hit on a couple things. Like Arnell said, this is not new information. All we're doing is just like recirculating key topics and stuff and points that we just want to be able to provide a tool to kind of help you all through life, because we know life's hard and we all have been in bad places and stuff. And sometimes it's like, uh, who can I run to? What can I do? And we just hope that we're able to help you all through it. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you go and check out, episode 1 through 6, as well as 7. Give us some feedback and stuff. So I just want to leave you guys with, make sure you step into any insecurities you have and avoid, the toxic thoughts. Negative things gonna come up in your mind, but I just want you to push through it. You don't have to execute everything alone. Collaborate with others as a resource. Uh, God didn't put us here on this earth alone. We have to decipher between the good and the bad. Everybody's not for us, but you're not alone. Utilize your resources. And last but not least, you're in charge of your own destiny. So don't allow distractions to give you off path.
Mm, well said, brother. Hey, ask yourself, look in the mirror today. Ask, are you living the life you want to live? If not, ask, are you controlling your controllables, man? Well, what is it? What distractions do you need to leave alone, to let go, to go up?
Right.
Have you made a decision? Decide who you want to be, what type of lifestyle you want today. And if you don't have it, that's fine. Make a decision. Put it down on paper. Make it plain, as the Bible says. Make it plain. And, we talked about controlling your energy, controlling your preparation, controlling a lot of different things. But I want you to keep this in mind, and then we'll get out of here. How well are you controlling your effort? So at the end of the day, what's your effort level like? We can't control any of the output, but the thing you can control is your effort. So ask yourself that, man. Ask what you can change to become 1% better today versus yesterday, and the same thing tomorrow. This is your boy Arnell. We got my brother, as always, Phil. This is the Falling Forward Podcast, episode 7. All right, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
All right, peace.